Overall team comps. Blue team has banned out Jax, Nasus, and LeBlanc. I already mentioned earlier that Nasus is more of a target ban or banning out of counter picks rather than a generic solo queue ban. It's not bad, it's just a little bit surprising. Purple team has banned out Kale, Fizz, and Ryze. Ryze isn't seeing that much play anymore. I cannot explain why that is. I think he's still strong, but he's not as flavor of the month. So unless you know the enemy team plays a lot of Ryze, I question that ban. And same with the Fizz. Fizz is not common, is not very strong, and I think there are just better bans at the moment. But again, it's possible they looked up their opponent, or they just really didn't want to deal with it as a Kassadin. Kale, though, is very, very popular and very strong. I really like that ban. Good job on that. I'm surprised no supports were banned. Supports are picking up a lot more bans these days, especially Braum, Morgana, Thresh. Those three are really contested picks at the moment. So I'm surprised that nothing was thrown at those support champions. Blue team has then picked up an Orianna combined with Renekton, Jinx, Thresh, and Vi. So they have a lot of different methods to get that Orianna ball in there. They can use a Thresh hook and pull in. They can use a Vi ult or Q. They can use a Renekton double dash. And then, of course, Jinx is going to be able to poke away with rockets and drop her ult across them. So I like their AoE sort of wombo combo. I mean, it's not a full AoE team, but they synergize relatively well. Jinx Thresh is a very solid, consistent bot lane. Renekton's a great bully. Orianna doesn't really have any counters. Vi is still a strong jungler. So overall, very solid picks. None of them really don't work with each other, and none of them are really easily hard countered. So solid picks there. On the split side, they have a Kassadin mid. Kassadin, I think, is a very strong champion right now. A lot of people don't agree with that, and a lot of people haven't really seen it played to high effectiveness. But just the cooldown on the ult alone is just it's really powerful. The minor love tap nerfs may have pushed him back in line a little bit more, but he's still a very viable pick and can work well if he's able to get rolling, if he's able to assassinate Roam and Snowball. Darius, mediocre pick in the current meta, but definitely can snowball heavily and can be a huge lane bully. The only thing I'm concerned with, though, is that he's versus Renekton, who is the definition of lane bully in the current meta. He has sustain, he has poke, he has so much that he can do versus Darius. And you're also dealing with a Vi who has some pretty solid early ganks. Twitch and Morgana. I like the Morgana to help protect the Twitch or the Kassadin or even the Rengar. So the Morgana pick's really, really solid to help deal with things like the Vi ult or the Thresh hooks. And Twitch is a very strong AD carry right now. So overall, really not bad picks there. Renekton, sorry, not Renekton, Rengar. I keep calling him Renekton, my bad. Let me update the text here. Okay, sorry. Rengar is still a strong pick. I feel he's a little bit better in his current state in top lane rather than jungle, but there's nothing really wrong with him going jungle. If he snowballs, he gets ahead, he one-shots people, it's a beautiful thing. The upcoming Summoner's Rift, it looks beautiful and I cannot wait. It's going to be really awesome. Overall, Purple Team is very snowball reliant. Rengar needs to get ahead. He needs to get some kills to really get up his stacks and become viable late game. Darius, he needs to win lane or he pretty much falls off. Kassadin, he doesn't necessarily need to win lane, but he needs to snowball in some way. So Purple Team is just really snowball reliant, whereas Blue Team is more combo and communication and teamwork reliant. So we'll see how this goes, but if Purple Team falls behind, I really have a doubt that they'll be able to get back into it. So we have a couple different questions in chat. How do you escape from Plat 5? Hard division to escape from. You're winning 22 LP per match. Opinion on... Okay, yeah, a bunch of different questions there. How to escape from any division is improve. So question your own gameplay. Am I roaming well? Am I CSing well? Am I trading well? I mean, there's so many aspects to the game. You need to inspect your own gameplay and put active effort into practicing and improving as a player. If you're not doing that, then there's no reason to expect yourself to become a better player, and there's no reason to expect yourself to move up the ladder. When you play Morgana, you tend to explode in teamfights even once you get Zonia. You get focused before or after. How can you prevent that? You need to play safely. Morgana is very heavily bind reliant. Staying max range sort of on your carries, using your black shield, and using the dark bindings to either disengage their team trying to dive into you, or to try and make picks for your allies. So like just catching one person out, landing a binding, and comboing in on top of that. Morgana cannot just walk into a team fight and ult. She needs to play reactively, and she needs to play carefully. So yeah, once you have Hourglass, it's not an excuse to just jump into the middle of the team fight. The only time you're flashing, ulting, and Hourglassing is when your team is in position to win that fight without you. The fight should be over by the time your Hourglass is down. How can you stop raging so much when you lose? Stop caring about winning. Winning is not the point of ranked. It's not the point of league. The point of playing ranked is to improve as a player. So stop saying, oh, fucking noob scrub team, I can't win a game, I carry so hard. That's going to put you in a bad mood. Whereas saying, oh, my team really didn't do well this game, but I could have roamed better. And then practicing your roam. Or, oh my god, my jungler kept getting counter-jungled. I should really be communicating better, and I should be warding better to help protect my jungler. Or doing something to help your team have less opportunities to fall behind. That is what matters, playing consistently and over time becoming a better player. I'm not saying that you should never get upset. I mean, I get it. It can be frustrating when your team is feeding. But raging is not the answer. Questioning your gameplay and practicing is the answer. And if you put less focus on the game is only worthwhile if I win it, then you're going to enjoy it more over time. While you get nervous playing ranked, you're probably just not comfortable with it yet. It will come with time. Personally, once you play enough games, it's no different from a normal game. I mean, you're playing because you want to play League, and what happens at that point. Okay, so let's get this started. We're just going to keep an eye out for starting builds here. Kassadin, I'm surprised he's gone for Fairy Charm. The sort of standard Kassadin build you usually see involves Flask and Potions. That guarantees that you survive lane. Oh my god, this skin is hideous. It's so ugly. Regardless, though, I'm surprised he didn't go Flask. Would have been a better option. In the meantime, we have Doran's Shield versus Doran's Blade. That's perfectly fine. Standard start on the junglers. Orianna is not bought anything yet. And bot lane's pretty standard as well. Thresh, I'm actually surprised he went for wards. I personally prefer to have extra potions so that I can play a little bit more aggressively. I can trade, and even if the trade doesn't go perfectly, I'm not going to be zoned out of lane. So it's not a bad option to take the ward, but I think he could have built up a larger advantage by just going more potions. Someone was asking, best AD carry for solo queue. Jinx, Twitch, Caitlyn, and of course... Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. Lucian. Those are probably the 4 most consistent / best AD carries in solo queue. Does Kassadin even have any good-looking skins? Not really. So Orianna has come back. She's actually gone for Flask. This is more what I would have expected Kassadin to go for, except not with the mana potions, obviously. I would have expected the Orianna, though. There's no reason for her not to go Doran's Ring. Okay, so Orianna. Leech from this side. You don't need to be wasting time here. You're going to be falling behind on minions and experience by coming to this side of the buff. Generally speaking, stand on this side, auto-attack it once, and walk to lane. If not, you're going to lose out on experience. Kassadin's going to hit level 2 first, and dependent on your matchup, the level 2 engage can decide who wins lane. It's so important that you get that early minion advantage and that early experience advantage. Experience being more important than minions, obviously. I would also like to see a lot of harass coming out from Orianna. Yeah, the starting shield is actually a good option so that you can block out any Qs. I would be waiting until he tries to Q you, though, and just constantly auto-attack trading, poking him down, and making him regret coming into this lane. Jinx is a very consistent AD carry in solo queue. You have to play her well, but I would say that she's very, very good at carrying solo queue games. Very nice early hook. Jinx actually hits level 2 first. Lands the traps, the binding does not connect, and that's a hell of a lot of damage coming out. And this is exactly what I said with early level advantages. They push their level advantage so hard there, even without Thresh getting level 2 first. They're able to set that up. They've already blown the heal on the enemy team on Twitch and set up the pressure in this lane so that they can set up their own fights. The Kassadin roam is a little questionable, but he may actually be able to get this kill. Very nice ignite. I'm surprised he didn't Q, though. I mean, he's going to get the kill, but he could have saved Flash by Q igniting. He was close enough for his Q. But great awareness on this Kassadin. I really like seeing that counter jungling, because counter jungling is a team effort. In the meantime, I am going to rewind and take a quick look at the fight's top. Looks like Renekton gets a couple stacks on him, goes in for a lot of trades. At this point, because he started Doran's Blade, his only method for essentially sustaining is being able to get his Qs or auto attacks across the lane. And Darius is doing a good job of zoning him, lands the pull with the level 3, flashes for the auto attack, and gets another kill. So great job on that. I'm going to fast forward here so we can get back to the current state of the game. Down in bot lane, because of that early engage, Twitch is losing a lot of CS. He's getting approximately half the CS that Jinx is. And as you see here, every time there's a trade, he comes out behind. And that just is because of the level pressure that you gain. He's now forced to go back. I like Morgana staying here and soaking up some experience. I would have liked to see her using her Tormented Soil, though, to push the creep line back a little bit and maybe save a little bit of pressure on the tower. Alright, so we're back to current state of the game. I'm going to take another peek at mid lane here. He has not spent the gold from the first blood, but he does have blue buff. So I want to see him playing relatively aggressively in the way he uses his skills. Problem is, though, he's versus this many potioned up Orianna. She has her flask and 2 potions left. She also has Ignite. So he can't really trade with her. I get that. If I were him, though, what's your point in staying to lane then, when you could just go back and buy? Use that gold advantage and set up a little bit of pressure for yourself. Oh shit, I didn't even see that kill going down. I apologize. So, kill goes the other way this time. The couple stacks onto Renekton, but he has got boots. He's able to chase this in with a lot of life still happening. Flash stun and auto attack. While I'm not a fan of having to use so many flashes, I am a fan of how they're trading damage. They're not just taking free damage and running away. In the most part, in top lane here, they're trading relatively consistently. As soon as one of them gets advantage, they're also following it through for a kill. So that's a good job, but I would work on your positioning and awareness of how much damage you can take. That's a skill you pick up over time, though. I would be prepping that minion. He could have essentially taken a step up while Morgana prepped it, turret hit it, and then he would have been able to hit it as well. Farming under tower is a very important skill for all lanes, especially AD carries, so that's something I might suggest he practice over time. Rengar looks to be trying for a gank mid lane here. There's no real CC from Kassadin to set this up, so I'm interested to see how this goes. Kassadin has no flash, no ignite. The binding goes down, gets a decent amount of damage in, does not connect with the final slow, and they just walk away. It's a good amount of damage pressure, but it's not really going to turn into anything. I think it would have been It would have been better to wait until Kassadin was level 6 so that he could have followed that up with relative ease. Vi coming in for a gank. Kassadin has hit level 6, and that's a wasted Orianna ult. Knowing that Kassadin is level 6, I would not have wasted that. It was a very nice escape from Kassadin, but I think the Orianna ult was definitely rushed. He needs to work on his awareness. Pay attention to what level your laner is. If it's a level 6 Kassadin, why are you trying to do that, right? You also don't have the damage to follow it up. So many kills going down top lane, I can't really focus too much elsewhere on the map. So this is what I was worried about. Darius does not have much of a way to stay in this lane if he falls behind. So Renekton just does a very nice double jump, ignite, stun, boom, free kill for him. And I expect it to continue in that trend. If I were Darius, I'd probably be trying to get a lot of early defenses so that I'm still going to be relevant in terms of just being a bully. Being able to get into team fights and like pull people in and not instantly die. Building damage at this stage isn't going to save him. So I would just maybe make that suggestion. So Kassadin still hasn't gone back, neither mid has. I'm actually surprised, because if you look at Kassadin's gold, he now has 1600. That could be a very nice purchase for him. I'm not sure if he's trying to wait on like a full Rod of Ages, or if he's trying to get a tier and a oh my god, I can't even think of it. It's Rod of Ages component. Vi tries to invade, but does not have any mana or health, so I dislike that decision. As soon as they get into the bush here, he's just going to jump on, and very nice kill. I disagree with the decision to invade, though. You're not level 6, you have no mana, you have no health, and you have no flash. So why are you trying to invade Rengar's jungle? That's just a map awareness and decision-making issue. That was so risky and not much real reward. So Morgana definitely does need to work on her bindings a bit. She's using them very aggressively in positions where, yes, if you hit the binding it would be great, but your team is either not in position to follow up, or it's going to be highly likely they're going to dodge. Twitch also needs to be really careful in his position here, because he is taking a lot of free rockets and zap blasts from Jinx. Ooh, nice binding. I'm actually surprised that hit. Great damage coming in, actually. Morgana is level 6. Oh, nice rocket. Very, very nicely played. I think, though, if Morgana had ulted right at the start there, they would have easily gotten that kill onto Jinx. Kassadin coming up top, but Renekton is already escaped. I like the intent to roam, but just not the method. He's also gone for Chalice. I've not seen any Kassadins build Chalice. They usually go full stack items, like Tier Rod of Ages. I'm pretty sure that's still the standard build, and then combining in like an Iceborne Gauntlet. I could be wrong on that, so feel free to correct me, guys, but that's the most common build I've seen coming in from Kassadins. Alright, so here, as soon as that goes down, I would have ulted past the ball, and then auto-attack W auto-attacked. He should still be able to get this. He didn't want it. He had his E and his W up. He could have flash E auto-attacked, and he would have got that kill relatively easily, and then been able to Rift Walk out. You know the ult is down. I think his concern was that there might have been like a little bit of extra tower damage combined with like a QW, but I think he should have gone for it. So for those of you who have not already liked our Facebook page, we are 37 likes away from 1,000. That will trigger a $10 RP giveaway. So if you do want to like our Facebook page, go ahead and do that. Brian will hand out double points if you send your Twitch name over to the page itself. Alright, so Renekton here, he's built up a relatively large advantage. He's about 20 CS up. He's now 2 and 1. I would expect this to continue in this trend. Looks like, I'm assuming he's going for like a Hydra Darius. As you see here though, he's just gonna, every time you trade, you're going to fall behind on Darius at this stage. And this is why I dislike Darius as a pick. Yeah, you're gonna die. The Ignite's not gonna kill you here, but you have to waste Flash in order to try and get one minion. At that point, it's better to just go back, buy, and let him take tower. With the tower down, you're gonna be able to freeze just outside your inner, and you're going to make it very easy to gank him, and relatively easy for yourself to farm.
Team's turret has been destroyed.
Alright, Morgana binding is coming up right now. Very nice binding. I would not be tanking that tower though. That's, yeah. Alright, so my issue there, Morgana was tanking the tower for no particular reason. She could have just taken a step back and still been able to auto-attack if she needed. Rengar is coming in here. I would expect him to easily get this. That was a slow combo coming out from Rengar, but it still worked. Is he rushing Trinity Force, Rengar? I don't think that's a thing, is it? Like, Trinity Force is fine on him, but you don't rush it, do you? I'm pretty sure it's still Ghostblade. Yeah. You go Doran's Blades into Hydra and Blade of the Rune King. Or, not Blade of the Rune King, Ghostblade. I'm pretty sure Blade of the Rune King is late game. Because you focus on your mid-game assassination power. I could be wrong on that. I mean, I don't play him much. And unfortunately, I know I'm not able to pay much attention to top lane here, but I've already mentioned pretty much everything I can. The Darius pick, either it gets really far ahead thanks to ganks or outplays and snowballs, or it falls behind. At this point, he doesn't have much to do besides maybe just freeze and do what he can. You can do multiple Doran's Blade on him, but he's going jungle, so it looks as though he's going to try and get something else. I would not suggest going for a Feral Flare on Rengar. It doesn't really help your burst, it doesn't give you AD. Jinx landing some really good poke here. I'm really impressed with how Jinx is positioning and just zoning every way that she can. Alright, so the traps are in. Thresh does not decide to follow this through. And they just walk their separate ways. Renekton is trying to roam mid here, but you do need to keep in mind this is a Kassadin. So it's doubtful that he's going to be able to catch up. He did have Flash. That would have been one option for him if he was really committed to the fight. Not that I suggest that he do that. In the meantime, Darius is getting some free farm. If I were him, though, he's pushing this out. You need to learn to freeze the wave, which basically just means auto attack only when it's like 10 health left, so that you don't make the wave push back towards their side. You keep it at your turret. Alright, so there's some pings going down on Dragon here. I'd be fine with blue team going for that. Alright, so another kill going down top lane. Almost takes Renekton with him at this point. If I was his team, I'd be calling for some help top. You have a Kassadin who has incredible roam potential. For example, that fight only was lost by a couple hundred health. So if you had any help in this lane, you'd be able to pick up that kill. I'm not saying that they need to just dedicate all their effort to helping top, seeing as it is pretty far gone, but at the same time, I'm surprised that no one's helping him. Alright, so Kassadin is going back. If I were Orianna, just shove this in as fast as you can, and either take Wraiths, or Tower, or Roam. And Kassadin does decide to stay, though. Yeah, so like Rengar's up top right now. Is he going to try and help with this fight or not? There's a 3-level disparity and like a lot of item disparity. So unless they're going to go in as a full team, like, this is late. This is way too late. You're going to just get double killed, I would say. If Renekton plays this properly, he should be able to kill both of them. Lands a stun, Qs across both, double dash. Yeah, there it is. You can't afford to go in once Darius is already low or once you're already low. You need to overlap CC and burst him down as a team. So just work on your communication there. Ooh, I'm actually going to rewind that and watch it again. Alright, so Jinx lands a trap right behind. Thresh Hook does not quite connect, but then the Jinx Rocket cleans up. Great job with these Jinx plays. I'm really impressed with how Butter Hero has been improving. I've seen him play a couple times as AD carry, and he's definitely been getting better over time.
Purple team's turret has been destroyed. Purple team's turret has been destroyed.
Alright, so that's another turret down. Renekton's doing a really good job of just pressuring top constantly and making them lose any advantage that he can. Oh, the baits. It's too bad no one was in position to follow that up. Yeah, there was a nice combo onto Kassadin, but I don't think Kassadin should have been there in the first place. Alright, so Kassadin is asking for help here. I'm a little disappointed with the Rengar pick, and it's nothing against how Rengar is playing, but he's not landing heavy early ganks. And with the team comp they have, they kind of need those early ganks. So I'm not sure if that was just like a team communication issue or what. Alright, Darius, no, minions are going to take him down, and the dots do not quite finish off Orianna thanks to the shield. In the meantime, Jinx is getting double kills. Oh, this is snowballing so heavily in blue team's advantage. Right, so that fight was set up by Rengar and Jinx. Yeah, that's just Rengar again trying to fight in ways that his team can't follow him up. Yeah, Kassadin's staying way too long in lane. Like, dude, how much gold do you have now? He has 1,800 gold on him. Go buy. You're way too low. This is what I said was going to happen in selection. Either purple team snowballs and gets ahead, or they're not going to have much of a way to get back into the lane. Is that Tiamat Vi? I haven't seen that before. I don't like it. Go Brutalizer if you need a damage item. But yeah, Tiamat with a Vampire Scepter. So you're rushing out a Hydra before you're not building any jungle item. You're not building boots. I do not like this build, dude. You need to get boots. You need to get your gold per 10 item. And if you want an AD or like an offensive item, build a Brutalizer. So yeah, Renekton is now 6-1 with about 30 CS advantage. Well, she needs boots, and she needs her jungle item, and she needs a better offensive item. It's not that Hydra is really that bad on Vi, but there's so many better items she could be building. Rengar's done the exact same thing. He's rushing out a Trinity Force. He has boots at least, but I really dislike what they're doing. Yeah, Rengar. This isn't gonna go in your favor. At this point, it's over. Unfortunately, I would love to offer more constructive advice on what they could do to get back into the game, but as I mentioned in the selection, with this team comp, if you fall behind, you're not going to get back into the game, and that's unfortunate, but kind of the truth. Gaston needed to get some way to snowball, whether that was through roaming or through item builds. I really don't like the Athenes on Gaston. There's no reason to build it. You have mana regen from your W, so you need max mana. So Tear or Rod of Ages. He also needs like his boots earlier so that he can roam. They needed to help the Darius earlier. Renekton, sorry, not Renekton. Ugh. Rengar needed some early pressure. Twitch needed to work on his positioning. But at this point, there's just too much that's gone wrong for them to really get back into the game, outside of a massive throw. I also dislike this. You are caught so far out. I don't know why he was down there. His team was not there. Is he expecting to be able to just jump in and kill their AD carry? Because he doesn't have any items. Alright, Orianna should be able to pull... No, she doesn't have her ult yet. The Static Shiv is a fine option. I would have more preferred to see a Phantom Dancer, though, just because of the extra mobility it gives her. And, I mean, it's not as though she's lacking a Wave Clear. She's Jinx. She has rockets. Ooh, very nice pull. And beautiful ult. That was very nicely played. Okay, I'd expect them to be able to turn that into the end of the game. We're about 20 minutes in here, so I'm assuming there's going to just be a surrender come out. When you see a team fight go that poorly, and it's 20 minutes in, I'm assuming they're just going to surrender it. Yeah, Rengar's doing this similar thing most of the game where he's trying to fight when there's no one able to help him. So it's unfortunate, but this is something that does happen from time to time. And this is why I prefer more consistent, less snowball-reliant team comps. Alright, very nice job on everyone on blue team. Purple team did fine. They had a lot of issues in terms of communication, rotations, and just the objectives they needed to focus on for their characters just didn't pan out. So yeah, this is definitely going to be the end of the game. Oh, purple team! They're probably going to get a few kills here, but the game is still kind of over. Oh, and they actually turn around and kill them, so they are going to end right now. Yeah, they didn't do anything with their jungle items, and Vi went for a Hydra rush instead of like a Brutalizer. She didn't build boots. I had a lot of complaints with Vi's build, but it wasn't really needed, so. Okay, so we're going to do a quick rundown of general item builds, final thoughts. Overall, I mentioned this a number of times throughout the game, but if you look at Purple Team, they're very snowball reliant. Darius needs to destroy lane if he's going to be useful. Kassadin needs a snowball come mid to late game. Rengar needs to snowball early. So that's 3 of their team that are completely snowball reliant, and that wasn't what happened in this game. So, while unfortunate, that really shut down their options to get back in. I didn't like the Kassadin build. I don't see why you would ever build Unholy Grail on Kassadin when you could build stack items. Darius, I think he should have... It's hard to say. Like, I understand why he wanted lifesteal, and he did end up going defensive after, but it just wasn't working out for him. Maybe someone else can give a better bit of advice on that. But I noticed after the first couple deaths, he was still building offensive rather than trying to communicate with his team and build some like tank items early to set up ganks from his allies. Overall, though, unfortunately, it's just how the game went. Twitch really needs to work on his positioning, but his item build was fine. Morgana needs to work on her bindings, but her item build is fine. That being said, swap out your warding totem as soon as you get Sightstone. Rengar, I don't know why you would rush Trinity Force. He also didn't buy a jungle item. It just weirded me out. I don't like it. Jinx, her build is fine. The Fury Boots, I don't know. They're fine. It did what she needed it to, but I'm assuming it was just because she was so far ahead. That's why she went for it. It synergizes well with her passive, so that's good. Renekton, absolutely dominant in lane. He roamed. He just did really well. I don't really have any comments for him in terms of play style. He did really well in influencing his team. I also want to compliment Kassadin with the early invade. Really good job just like being aware of what should be happening on the map and finding a way to make it work for yourself. It could have been executed a little bit smoother, and he could have snowballed that advantage in his favor through better item builds, play style, and decision making, but that was a really good play from him, and I would like to compliment that. Thresh, Boots of Swiftness are an odd choice. Zeke's Herald works because Jinx was so far ahead. No real complaints, actually. That's fine. Vi, I really dislike the Hydra. You didn't build Boots. You didn't build the jungle item. And if you want an offensive item, I think Brutalizer would be a much better option because of its early effect on duels. Orianna, I'm actually surprised she didn't go for a Doran's Ring start. I'm also surprised that Kassadin didn't go for a Crystalline Flask start. Overall, though... Will of the Ancients. Why would you build that? I don't like Will of the Ancients. It's terrible. Yeah. I think I commented on everything else during the game, so thank you for participating.